Stay tuned. Hi, I'm Danny Moore, the Vice President for Student Affairs at Sam Houston State University, and I'm excited about this new podcast, Beyond the Measure. And before we kick this off, I'm going to introduce my co-host.
Hi, I'm Ileana Reyes, and I go by Illy. I'm a junior here at Sam Houston, and I'm studying mass communications with a minor in dance. What I want to do with that in the future is I would love to work for hopefully a Houston sports team. I'm from Houston, and sports has been the biggest passion of my life other than dance, which is why I'm also studying dance. But I really am excited about that, and yeah.
Okay. And so with this podcast, the goal is to talk about how Bearcats are living out the motto, the measure of a life is its service. And so what brought you to Sam Houston State University?
So like I said, I'm from Houston, so Sam is right there. We're super close, and I love that so much because for me, family is the most important thing, and it was also important that I was going to be able to be close to them, spend holidays with them and some weekends with them. And so not only that, I've had family that have gone through Sam, and I've just always heard good things about it.
Okay. So when we think about the motto, the measure of a life is its service, what does that mean to you personally?
So for me, I've always been the type of person that's believed that I have a greater purpose on this earth, and that I can always be there for other people and do things for them in service and stuff like that. And what's amazing is that at Sam, I've also noticed that other people have that mindset. I've seen that on campus, I've seen that off campus, and it's just amazing because I feel like I'm right where I'm meant to be.
Very, very cool. So today, our guest is going to be Taylor Morrison, coming from the Center for Community Engagement, and she's going to talk to us a little bit about how our students are living out the motto through service in ACE courses. So with that, we're going to take a quick break, and we will see you shortly. And we're going to welcome Taylor Morrison to the show. Taylor, can you tell us a little bit about the Center for Community Engagement? What's the mission? What you guys do over there?
So to give you just a bit background on how we came to be, the university was founded as a normal institute with the purpose to educate teachers for the state of Texas way back in the day, in early origins. And that purpose has really followed through the work that the university has done over generations of students. And in 2010, our university was awarded the Carnegie Foundation's elective classification for a community-engaged campus. And as a result of the work that faculty, staff, and our students were doing, this really was a moment for us to say, wow, look, we really have been doing a lot of fantastic work connecting with the community, sharing resources, and really motivating our students to live out that motto. And as a result of that, in 2012, the Center for Community Engagement was established. And so our purpose is to maintain that elective classification. And so to do that, we really function as a hub between campus and community connections. So anytime we hear from the community, hey, I'd really love to know more about this on campus, or can you get me connected with so-and-so? The center really kind of functions as the guide along the bridge between campus and community. Our office has a lot of programs, but the program that the community members are looking for may not be the one that we operate. And that's part of what we do. We help hold their hand or walk them along the bridge and get them to the destination that they'd like to be at. And so we've got a lot of cool programs that we do, both on the community side, faculty side, and student side. But that's kind of just our general core mission is campus community collaborations.
That's awesome. So for the people that might not know, what are ACE courses?
Yeah, so one of our, as I mentioned, we have a lot of different programs, but in particular, the one that focuses directly on students is the Academic Community Engagement course program. And so academic community engagement courses are formally designated on the course schedule, and they apply a teaching method where faculty design their course so that students are working directly with a community organization to apply what they're learning in the classroom to meet a community need or opportunity. And it's for every student in the class. It's not optional. So it gives students across disciplines and across campus a wide variety of opportunities to get connected and try out those skills that they're learning in the classroom before they get out into the real world. So we had, in the last academic year, over 650 ACE course sections across all colleges, and they were taught by over 280, almost 300 faculty across campus. So the impact is really great, and we see students from all different disciplines getting these opportunities to really try out their skills, see if this was really a good fit for them, but also to get connected to the community and live out that motto, learning how to navigate the challenges and experiences of working with a real client or organization for their projects.
So you talk about this over 600 students participating. What's the feedback been? Like, what are students saying about participating in ACE courses?
So 600 course sections. So
Okay.
we really, in terms of enrollment, so this isn't unique students, but in terms of total course enrollment, it's over 13,000 students.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So the enrollment's pretty fantastic in terms of the breadth of students that are able to participate in ACE courses. So to give just a bit more on like what is an ACE course, to then be able to answer your question. So faculty and a community partner work together to co-create a project that's applying what the students should be learning and then also addressing whatever it is the organization's goal is. And in the process of doing that, the community partner typically serves a role as a co-educator with the faculty. They bring a really unique set of skills and knowledge from their field or from their experiences working in an industry that supplements and complements the in-course instruction that a faculty member is delivering through their lectures and assignments and textbook readings. And so through that process, we've come up with a project that the students will do. It can be a direct project or it could be an indirect project. And what I mean by that is in direct service or in a direct community engagement project, you might think of like boots on the ground, students going out to an organization and doing something with a community partner. And typically that might look like working with school children, perhaps through the Boys and Girls Club, or it might look like a really cool drones class that we have that I'm really excited about, where students in an ag and industry drones application course are learning how to do this 3D modeling. And so they have to develop a pre-flight plan and they have to execute the plan and then create the 3D modeling that happens after that. What a perfect opportunity to apply what they're learning. It could be a hypothetical situation, sure, but they actually worked with local farmers last year to do drone flights over their different structures on their farms to assess roofs. And so it gave feedback directly to an individual that the student worked with. And so that's kind of like a direct project where they're working specifically with an individual or a group of people. Then indirect service or indirect community engagement, these are courses where the students are often working with organizational leaders, staff, business owners, and in those projects, the students are working more behind the scenes. So they might be identifying some kind of resource guide, some kind of tool or a deliverable that the organization is looking for to really help them accomplish their mission or achieve a certain goal. So those are more behind the scenes. An example of that might be a human resource management course that worked most recently with a children's school, and they actually worked directly with the school's head leader, and they were identifying opportunities for staffing development and staffing improvement plans. And so it was applying what the students were learning in this class directly with the leader of the organization, but it wasn't working directly with the individuals that were, or like the staff or the teachers. So they're getting that applied experience, creating some kind of product, getting feedback on that product, and going, hey, you maybe need a little do more work here, or get that like real critical input to help them think through challenges that they're facing. So it takes all different kinds of forms. Like I said, it's in all different colleges. We've got students in in-person classes. We've got them online. They're at the Woodland Center. We even have faculty-led study abroad courses that are ACE courses. So it spans everything from core curriculum all the way up to doctoral courses. So it's a really cool program, and it affects a lot of students. So to kind of answer your question, circle way back around here, but in order to answer your question, I need to give you a little more context. So what are some student feedback that we're hearing? One of the really cool parts of my job, it may not seem like a super cool part, is that I get to do the assessment on ACE course experiences, and in particular, the benefits that students perceive to these academic community engagement courses. And that's a survey, and then also a reflection at the end. And I think one of the more rewarding parts of my job is to be able to read those reflections and see what students are really taking away from these courses. And so the different kinds of feedback we get first are personal. So students are realizing, oh my God, this is exactly what I wanted to do for my career. Or, oh my God, this is not at all what I want to do for my career. And what might I do now that I know that? I'm glad I tried it out, but it really was not a good fit for me. That's totally okay. That's the whole point. They're learning. But then also students are getting these experiences where they're trying to develop career readiness competencies. And we know those are so important. Whenever you graduate, you need to do really well at teamwork, and you need to have professionalism and communication and an understanding of the different technologies that you'll need to be able to apply what you've learned in a professional setting. Mm-hmm. So the students are actually making those connections in those reflections, and that's so rewarding to see that they understand that, oh, this experience, while I didn't get paid for it, wasn't a job, I can actually put this in my professional experience section on my resume, and I can talk about this in the same way that I might have talked about an internship, but I couldn't take an internship because I work or I have these other responsibilities. And so thinking about how this is a way that our students live out the motto, they are understanding their role in society, the ways that they can make a difference, the needs and opportunities that are out there that they can, what their niche might be. And so kind of going off of what you said earlier, the really nice thing about this on the student faculty side is that they're building relationships. They're getting these opportunities to learn more about their faculty member, their teachers, learn the different perspectives they're coming from, build some solid relationships that might lead to research opportunities, or it could also be a letter of recommendation for a professional or future additional academic experience. And so they're building relationships with their faculty, and then with the individuals that they're working with. One of the nice things that I enjoy reading is how the students recognize the value of the knowledge and wisdom that the organizational partners are bringing to this. They're so grateful that, oh man, I never knew this was a challenge, and I wouldn't have known it if I hadn't worked with this organization and I didn't feel the passion from the staff who are teaching me about the challenges that they specifically face in these settings. So then, also on like a just greater community level, kind of also to go what you were talking about earlier, so it really drives home the point. It is extremely rewarding to see students identify that they have a place in a community. A lot of our students, unlike you, are far from home, and they don't have a support network outside of what they get on campus. And so for them to build connections and build relationships and start to learn more about the local community, feel comfortable and like this is a second home for them, that's really rewarding as well to see. So from a personal all the way to a community level perspective, our students are really seeing how they fit in through their ACE course experiences.
That's amazing. I really am big on like a relationship that you can build with someone, whether that's a student, like a fellow student, or like someone that's faculty and staff. And like I think that that's really important, especially when you're far away from home, because that's something that they're not getting in that moment. So for that to be a possibility for them to have, it's amazing to like even feel that.
Yeah, it's so nice that they're able to really kind of find a way to go, oh yeah, okay, there are things outside the walls of campus, and they can be really wonderful and great for me to feel supported. And as we always talk about student success, one of the main keys to success and retention is that they feel like they belong. And so that's not just our campus community, that's also our local community as well.
So you kind of touched on community. So from the community side of things, what kind of impact have you seen with like the partnerships?
So I'm from Huntsville. I grew up here. I moved off for college and graduate school just like you did one day, and made my way back here eventually. And one of the reasons why I feel so called to do this work is that I always wanted to come back to Huntsville to use what I've learned to make a difference. And I didn't know what that was going to be and what that might look like. And I was fortunate to fall into this opportunity where I'm able to work directly with community organizations, many of whom I grew up volunteering at, to find ways that we can help them support and achieve their missions through connections with campus. And so in doing that, I get the opportunity to talk to partners all the time. On an organizational level, as we know, a lot of nonprofits are limited in terms of their resources and staffing. Budgets as well are challenging, especially whenever you have to rely on local fundraising efforts. So ACE courses really provide an opportunity for these organizations to access something that they wouldn't otherwise have. That's true for nonprofits, but it's also true for our small businesses and governmental entities that we work with as well. So the students kind of function as an additional resource to the organization itself. But in addition to that, the individual staff at the organization that the students work with, whether that's the organizational leader or it's the day-to-day people that they're in contact with, one of the really cool things is they find students so energizing and motivating, and they are feeling some kind of like renewed passion for the work that they do when they see the fresh perspective that students can bring to the table, and really kind of just like, oh man, yeah, this is why I got into this. I really love this. So on an individual level, we also see that. But then in terms of like the organizational staff, individuals themselves, so thinking of like, for example, kids who are a part of a partnership that might be a mentoring project or some kind of educational program that's run through like the public library, for example. Children see themselves in the college students that are there in front of them. And they may realize, oh, the life challenges and experiences that I've had are reflected in front of me in a college student. I didn't know that was a possibility for me. But to be able to see and relate to college students, there is that kind of personal, like, oh, there's a possibility. They can start to believe in some kind of possibility for themselves. And so our students are kind of these like flag wavers and banners for our university of like genuinely living out the motto in real time and kind of transforming these lives in the moment, but also later on too, if they decide to come to SAM or not and do other wonderful things. But it'd be great if they did. And then on a community level, like I mentioned, I'm local. So I see people at HEB that are partners, and I see the faculty members at church. It's the ability to see these connections and relationships, like you mentioned, strengthen over time through the different ways that we're able to plug in, whether that's through us and ACE courses or the variety of different student organizations that do volunteerism, and Greek life that also plays a role in that as well. There's so many different pieces of the university that are interacting with and touching the community in a way that highlights the benefits and beauty of both sides. So the community impacts or the partner level impacts really are spread quite wide. And our partners feel really valued, that they have knowledge and wisdom that they can impart on students and play an active role in students' learning process and experience. So yeah, it's really rewarding work. I really love what I do.
Thank you so much, Taylor, for sharing all the great work that the Center for Community Engagement is doing, especially incorporating our students through the ACE courses and getting them out in the community and showing how they live out the motto. Thank you so much.
Remember that you can find upcoming events and opportunities at events.shsu.edu, and check out at Sam Houston State on YouTube, where you can find this podcast and subscribe to it.
Until next time, keep rising beyond the measures, Bearcats.